My wife humiliated me in front of my former bullies, then she blocked me from leaving and asked for the ring back. Now she's begging to reconcile, but I have made up my mind. We'd been married 2 years, together for 5. I thought I knew her better than anyone. We were at her company holiday party at this upscale hotel downtown when I saw them across the room. 3 guys from high school who made my life absolute hell. My chest tightened immediately. My hands started sweating. Turns out one of them, Jared, works in her department as a senior analyst. I pulled her aside and quietly explained who they were. Reminded her about the stories I'd told her over the years, the locker incidents where they'd trash my stuff, the lunch tray getting knocked out of my hands daily for an entire semester, the time they cornered me in the parking lot and I ended up with a broken nose and 2 cracked ribs. She said it was years ago, that we should be mature about it, that it would be awkward if we avoided her coworker all night, especially since her boss was watching. Before I could protest, she was already walking over, dragging me by the hand like a kid being forced to apologize. Jared recognized me instantly. His face lit up in this cruel way I remembered too well. He nudged the other 2 guys and they all turned to stare. "Holy shit, is that Nathan?" one of them said, loud enough that nearby people turned. "Dude, we were just talking about you last month. Remember when you used to hide in the bathroom during lunch? You'd stay in there the entire period." My wife laughed, not a polite chuckle, an actual laugh. Jared started telling stories, exaggerated versions where I was the punchline. He mentioned the time I tripped in the cafeteria and spilled food all over myself, but conveniently left out the part where he'd stuck his foot out. Made it sound like I was just clumsy and pathetic. Said I cried in front of everyone. The other guys piled on, talking about how I'd eat alone in the library, how I always looked like I was about to cry, how I wore the same hoodie every single day because they'd stolen my gym clothes and I was too embarrassed to tell anyone or my parents. My wife stood there nodding along, smiling, trying to fit in with them like we were all old friends reminiscing about the good old days. I touched her elbow and said quietly that I wanted to leave, that I wasn't feeling well. She pulled away and said, "Nathan, you're being dramatic. It's just jokes. You need to learn to laugh at yourself." Everyone else moved on. That broke something in me. Jared then asked if she knew I used to fake being sick to avoid gym class. Completely made up, but she didn't defend me, didn't correct him. She just stood there with this uncomfortable smile, sipping her wine, occasionally glancing at her boss across the room. I said louder this time, "I'm going to the car." She grabbed my wrist hard. "You're really going to embarrass me like this? In front of my coworkers? In front of my boss?" I looked at her, really looked at her, and I didn't recognize the person standing there. I walked toward the exit. She followed me into the lobby, heels clicking angrily against the marble. She stepped in front of the door, blocking it with her body. "If you walk out right now, we're done," she said, her voice shaking. I told her to move. "Please, just move. I'm serious, Nathan. If you can't handle one conversation, if you're going to act like a child and make me look bad, then maybe we need to rethink this whole thing. Maybe you're still that scared little kid who can't grow up." The lobby wasn't empty. There were other people from the party. Valets, hotel staff, a couple waiting for an Uber. She didn't care. She held out her hand. "Give me the ring back. Right now. I mean it." I stood there for a moment, my heart hounding in my ears. Then I took it off, placed it in her palm, and walked out into the cold December night. I stayed at my brother's place that night. My phone started buzzing around midnight. 15 texts, 4 voicemails. She said she'd had too much wine, that she panicked, that she didn't mean any of it, that I'd put her in an impossible position. For 3 days, the messages kept coming. She said Jared had been pressuring her to be cool around him since he was up for the same promotion she wanted, that she'd felt trapped, that she knew she messed up, that it was one mistake. I didn't respond to any of it. Yesterday, she showed up at my apartment, eyes red and swollen from crying. She said she'd do anything to fix this, that she'd quit her job if she had to, that she'd never speak to those guys again, that she'd go to therapy with me. I let her say everything she needed to say, let her cry, let her apologize. Then I told her the truth. The moment she laughed at their jokes, she stopped being my wife and became one of them. I didn't spend years in therapy, rebuilding myself after what they did to me, just to marry someone who would tear me down the exact same way. She's still texting, still calling. Her mom called yesterday asking me to reconsider, saying everyone makes mistakes, but I've never been more sure of a decision in my life. Some things you just don't come back from.